Good evening. I'm Cassandra Joan Butler with your Cosmic Connections for the evening, and also known as Agent 56 with the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, your one-stop shopping center on the planet for astrological classes and webinars and learning. And thanks for joining me on this Wednesday evening. We get together, around 8:30 every Wednesday evening. We talk about the astrology of the week, and I'll also be doing some spiritual messages. And tonight, our focus will be on the quarter cycle. The last quarter cycle, will be taking place on the 13th of next week, on Monday. And I'm going to review some of the highlights of this past full moon, supermoon in Aries that took place on Monday. So the question of the day might be, are you feeling a little bit exhaled, a little relieved? Because the full moon, of course, is always a time of illumination and receiving information about something relative or relevant to your conscious or unconscious thoughts, concerns, manifestations of the new cycle. The new cycle, of course, this time around took place under a solar eclipse on the 21st of September. But it does feel like we're clearing some hurdles, and I'll explain why using the astrology. So I'm going to say hello to people. Well, Diane is there in the room. And let's see if I can see people's comments here. Hi, Diane. Feel free to say hi. Hi, Laura. You're finally feeling balanced. Good. I know. I was really feeling a little bit on the uptight side right prior to the full moon. I'm starting something new, by the way. For those of you who follow me on Wednesday nights, check out my Facebook page daily, because I started a Sabian symbol of the day, and you might find that very, very helpful. I will tell you what the sun sign was in, what degree, and you can superimpose that on your chart and see if it makes sense, because I love the Sabian symbols to giving us guidance. Sabian symbols were originated in the early part of the 20th century when a medium and an astrologer, Elsie Wheeler and Mark Evan Jones, meditated together, and they actually received downloads for each of the 360 degrees on the astrological wheel. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Debbie. Good evening, Sherry. Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for being here. Feel free to share as I'm in process here. So again, tonight we're going to review some of the after effects or repercussions or illuminations of the full moon. So that's the question for you tonight. Did you feel more relief after late Monday evening? That's Eastern Standard Time, after 11:48 in the evening on Monday. So therefore, Tuesday and today, were you feeling a sigh of relief, or at least seeing or feeling a little bit more confident on what the next step is in your life? All right, so that's the question of the day. Are you feeling the sense of, okay, I've got more information to fulfill my immediate desires? Jennifer, hello. Hi, Peggy. Happy heavenly birthday to your sweet daughter, Lindsay. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness, Sherry. Giving her and you a lot of love. The beautiful Libra. Thanks for bringing her name to our gathering tonight. Thank you. Hi, Jennifer and Peggy. Thanks for being here. And Mary T, nice to see you. Hi, Patricia Yu, and thanks for coming to the class on Monday. I hope you had a chance to review that. I'm going to parcel out some of the teachings of that class that I taught. Okay, Cosmic Connections. Good evening, Marianne. Hello. I understand you went to my dear friend's crystal class last evening. I hope you did. If Kathy, if you're listening, I heard it was a great success. Kathy Darnell, a fabulous crystal healer. Good evening, Donna. Nice to see you. And a couple of points of interest. If you have the Halloween spirit yet, friends, join me and my son, Adam Godine, for a spirit stroll on Friday night. Every Friday in the month of October, we're strolling through Williamsville. We start at 6:30, and everybody gets a spiritual message. All right, so I can't do it virtually, but you have to be there in Western New York, in Williamsville, New York, and we talk about some ghost stories and some paranormal events and trends for that lovely hamlet through which a lot of history in Western New York was fixated on. All right. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Rhonda. Karen, thanks for being here. Hey, Mary P. Thanks for being here, friends. I know I wish you were closer too, Laura. Big hugs to you. Hi, Joni. Joni GS. Hey, Jan. Nice to see you. All right. I'm reviewing the full moon because it's so pertinent and it was only taking place 2 days ago, right? And as a part of our unfoldment or our narrative using astrology, think in terms of moments and moments of our lives, right? Some moments are stressful, some moments are elevating, and we don't even know why sometimes. That's why astrology is such a beautiful gift. So this full moon is asking us to let go, and we're still in the full moon cycle. It's asking us to let go of negativity on so many different levels, whether it be negative ingestion of media, all right, or ingestion of toxic people's criticism. And we can't put our shield on, right? Some people we just cannot not interact with, right? Right? Our boss, our parents, our best friends. I mean, we can always say goodbye, right, to certain people in our lives, but we have some obligatory relationships in our lives, right? And whatever those relationships might be, it's my mind, my thought that sometimes we're thrown into situations where we're learning how to stretch our human boundaries and how to get along with people, even if we don't really like that person. So this is very relative and relevant to this full moon. The full moon had what we call a yod, a finger of God attached to it. We go to where 14 degrees of Aries falls in our charts, and that's about self-determination and pure, unadulterated sense of focus and spontaneous truth, impulsive beingness. The I am presence is reflected with wherever we find Aries in our chart. So we have an Aries full moon, and that Aries full moon is about me, myself, and I. So me, myself, and I in our charts, we want to look where 14 degrees of Aries falls. It's in conjuncting both Mars and in conjuncting Virgo at the same time. It's called, again, the Yod, finger of God, 150 degrees. It forms like a peace sign. And here it is. Here's the full moon in conjuncting Virgo and in conjuncting Scorpio. The question is, we want to be true to ourselves with this full moon. That's one of the overreaching messages. Even if we don't have a lot of physical energy, Mars is physical energy. We may have been feeling fatigued in the past week, dealing with overwhelm and frustration, and I really want to get to this task and I can't because, man, I have to sleep sometime, right? And we are also trying to navigate criticism or imperfection in our lives and that naysayer inside of our heads, and that's the Virgo piece. So there's our little finger of God. So full moon is in conjunct Mars, full moon is in conjunct South Node, both of which are saying, do I have the energy to let go of toxicity in my life? Well, you do. And every day after the full moon, culminating on the 13th of October, we feel better and better and better, theoretically, about returning our energy back to us. Meanwhile, we have Mercury conjunct or right next to Black Moon Lilith, and Black Moon Lilith is like the sneaky feminine energy of behind the scenes. She doesn't really fit into the everyday reality. Sometimes she's very obvious or relevant in the chart when we're looking at literally people who are detectives or spies And even people who are psychics, I found that in some research, Black Moon Lilith is very often strong in the chart of a psychic or a medium because the psychic or medium is working beyond everyday reality, right? Okay. Now, we may be struck with wanting to get some research done about something in our lives, something that's really bothering us. It could be on the outside movie, the political landscape, or it might be in our own lives. I've got to get to the bottom of this, like really digging deep, 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 deep this next upcoming week. But the overreaching storyline is I want to heal now. There's something in my life I want to get rid of, something I want to cure, something I want to heal, something I want to shrug my shoulders and let it go. That's Chiron conjunct Eris. And that's being experienced throughout the planet. Eris is, among other things, another feminine energy who's very resentful and jealous and chaotic, and she rules strife and aggression and jealousy. And Chiron, of course, is the wounded healer saying, hey, time to heal this now. To emphasize this very strongly, I will ask this one question. Do you think the world is going through a lot of rebirthing? Does the world feel a little less safe these days? That's Chiron conjunct Eris. And is everyone over the top, tired of conflicts and wars, etc.? So Chiron is conjunct Eris. That's a very important aspect. Meanwhile, we have some help. Pluto is trining Uranus. Let's try something new. Neptune is sextile Pluto. Let's take our dreams, Neptune, and work with transformation, even if it's difficult, and even if it aggravates or angers others. So the Sabian symbol that took place on this full moon, I love it. It's called the Native American weaving a ceremonial blanket or robe. So what I've been telling my clients this week and telling you as well, imagine that you have a robe of light encasing your immortal bodies to protect you, no matter what the strife is in your life, because we're all going through some healing issues. Speaking of Chiron, I was doing a little deep research, and this might trigger some things with Patricia Yu. She was with the class on Monday night. So I love to do dig deeping. I love to dig deeply into the past and with astrology. So one of the things I notice about Chiron, it has a birth chart. It was born or discovered on November 1st, 1977. Here's the chart. And so Chiron, the wounded healer, stay with me, friends, if you're not familiar with Chiron, okay? Chiron's a very significant aspect in our own personal charts. It comes alive around age 50, around age 75, and also around age 25, when we become face-to-face with our own mortality, our own vulnerability, our own sense of fragility and the part of ourselves which we don't like. And so we go through a healing of ourselves so we can help other people heal. So here's the chart of Chiron when it was discovered in 77. You see, Chiron at that point was at 3 degrees of Taurus, opposite Scorpio. Scorpio is the deep dive into doing healing work, and Scorpio rules mystery and intensity, magic as well. Both of these two planetary energies are squaring Mars. It forms in astrological language a T-square. A T-square is something in the sky or in our own personal charts, which is impelling us and compelling us to get the job done. You know, a lot of times when people start learning astrology, they say, I want more trines in my chart. I want to have an easy, breezy life, and my chart indicates these squares, and I've had some hardships or some challenges, and I say yay, because a square helps us grow and change. The difficulties help us become more resilient and stronger. So the launch of Chiron, I'm going off a little bit of a squirrel, but stay with me, it's so relevant. So Chiron's birth chart is here, and it has that T-square, right? At the full moon, at the full moon, Chiron and Eris, strife and difficulty and feminine rage and jealousy is together in the sky. But this is so interesting to me. I have the birth chart of Chiron here, And all of a sudden, we've got this evolutionary Pluto opposite Mars in the launch or birth chart of Chiron. It's forming what we call a T square, a square of imperative energy happening this week and happening really for this entire month. Like it's time for us to get serious about doing some profound healing. So it's called a grand fixed cross, Sun in Scorpio, the discovery chart, Chiron and Taurus, the discovery chart, Mars and Leo, the discovery chart, but Pluto's in Aquarius now, first time in 250 years. It is saying, boom, this is a perfect four-cornered evolutionary tension in our lives where you find fixed signs, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, or Aquarius, to get moving and to get your life on track and get your soul on track and evolve to a more powerful place. So that's why this Chiron conjunct Eris has a whole lot of meaning. I want to share that with you. All right. On to the more maybe easier to understand if you're not that familiar with astrology, the flow of the upcoming week. And here it is. By the 13th of October, we have the fourth quarter square at 20 degrees of Cancer. Now, Monday, the 13th in the United States has been traditionally called Columbus Day. It's now called Indigenous Peoples Day. It's Thanksgiving Day in Canada. And it's also the day where Pluto, which I just spoke about, is going direct in the sky, creating that imperative tension of getting on with our lives and moving forward. So I think, and this is my interpretation, of course, there's that, you see that C square, that little red line there? It's a little triangle. It's very tense. But on Monday, and many people are off that day, I'm going to suggest to myself and anyone else, you all, to look at the role of partnerships in your life. Because on this quarter cycle, when we start to cultivate a new template in our lives, the moon is in conjunct Juno. There's that famous word, in conjunct, 150-degree angle to Juno. Juno means partner. And it's a reminder to ourselves that our partner is not our mama. The moon's, the mother energy. And that in conjunct is saying, you know what? I can't expect my partner to treat me like my mom did, or, unconditional love and mommy me. My partner is not my mother. Juno is also in conjunct Chiron and Eris, and that's basically saying we want to heal relationships. So this whole upcoming week, there's an emphasis on partnering and our relationships. And this does not necessarily limit the definition to a significant other that you're living with or you're married to, a spouse. It can mean just your day-to-day partners, the people that are closest to you. So Juno is also square Venus, and Juno is also trine Saturn, reminding us that in partnerships, there's a two-way flow of responsibility. And as we were saying with the full moon, next week we continue the Chiron Eris in conjunct. All right, let's take a look at how this will be affecting us. The focus is on the Gemini, and at the quarter cycle. And so it's called The Famous Singer is Proving Her Virtuosity During an Opera Performance, 20 degrees of Cancer. Prior to the full moon, we have the disseminating moon. And so that's also giving us some information on how to activate. I just have to change something really quickly here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. So we're going to start with Aries, the week ahead, starting next Monday. Take a look at your career. Take some steps to retemplate, rework your career, your authority, your ability to lead. It's a very good week for that. Aries. For Taurus or Taurus rising, activate your friendship life. Make some time for connecting with friends and analyze ways to bring friendship or socialization into your everyday environment. For Gemini, the upcoming week, again, this begins on Monday, next Monday, the 13th. It's about time to take some rest, take some breathers, become a little bit more aware of what you'd like to do for your spiritual life, whether it means praying or retreating, meditating. All eyes are on 20 degrees of Cancer, and this energy is just percolating with you to become a little bit more aware of your charisma, your kindness, your caring, your ability to nurture others. So find yourself a nice Cancer friend to hang out with next week. They'll be in there in their golden opportunity to help. For Leo or Leo rising, it has to do with your ability to create income, to demonstrate your self-esteem and your values. For Virgo, this is a fantastic week to take care of paperwork, communications, catch up on emails, catch up on communications. For our beautiful Libras, this is time for you to take care of anything having to do with home or family, and maybe do some deep cleaning. For Scorpio, it has to do with playfulness and fun and joy. This upcoming week for Sagittarius, it has to do with your ability to be as healthy as possible. And what that might mean to you is, practicing what you know is best for your health, movement, sleep, nutrition. Capricorn, all eyes are on your partnerships this upcoming week, ways where you can be a good partner and communicate your needs to your partner. For Aquarius, it's about long-term financial safety and security, looking at ways to create a stronger, healthier financial life. And Pisces, it's time to travel. This energy is activating your ability to expand, to market, maybe take a class, teach a class, or maybe take a little trip. Okay, I want to say hello to people. Hi, Brenda from Utah. Thanks for being with us tonight. Maria, Rhonda, great. Hi, Anna. Nice to see you. Hi, Gail. And Yvonne and Christine and Donna, Barbara from California. Thanks for being here. Elaine, Debbie, Paula, you're never too late. Oh, thank you, Valerie, for the comments. I had a fun time in that class. Hi, Paula. Hi, Sue. Great to see you. Hi, Jojo and Donna. I know we're getting our energy back. I hope, Donna, you too. Maria, Rodney. Oh, yes, of course. Everyone, please send healing to Rodney's son. Jerry, nice to see you. James, great to see you. Okay. All right. Hi, Candy. I was sending you energy on Friday. Hi, Cindy, Paula, Donna, Patricia, and great to see you, Mary. And I think I said hi to everybody I'm seeing in my comments. If I missed you, it's because it's not showing up on my sheet. Let's do some spiritual messages, friends. All right. Yes, I agree, Cindy. It was a glorious moon. Gurjeet, lovely to see you, honey. Again, super moons mean that we have 3 in a row. We had one on Monday. We'll have one on, I think, the 5th of November, and then the 4th of December. That's when the moon is 30% brighter than normal and 13% bigger, because the moon will be in what we call perigee. It's closest to the Earth. Okay, science lesson. Let's do some spiritual messages. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration, and healing for the highest, for the best, as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, I am with Linda Laura Panicle. Hi, Linda. I'm with you. Just give me permission to talk to you. Please, Linda, just say yes. Yes, yes, or no. Linda. Linda, you still in the room? Let's see, I got the right person here. Linda Laura Panico. Okay, thank you, Linda. As I'm tuning into your energy tonight, I'm intuitively picking up the Cancer part of your chart. Now, I don't believe I've met you, but I don't know if you know astrology, but let me just kind of tune in to mother energy, home energy, Cancer energy. But I feel that there's some Cancer personal planets in your chart in any case. It feels to me that you have been on a mission. A good word is mission, since the summer. I would say since the middle of July, of trying to nurture a friend, a family member who is also a friend, and mothering someone very strongly because they've had some health issues, and that your caretaking abilities have reached the nexus. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to start taking care of myself. And I believe the full moon gave you that message in the past 2 days, that it's great for you to overextend and give, but you have to find a time and some behaviors to bring yourself back to yourself, and maybe have someone else help you with this caretaking behavior. I'm not being critical about it at all. I'm just saying that's what I'm picking up. That it could be emotional caregiving too. It doesn't necessarily mean you're making meals for someone and nursing them back to health, but it could be that as well. That's number one. Number two, I'm picking up an energy of a sister or sister-in-law, I believe, who may be in spirit, who's coming in and thanking you for everything you did for her. And she's showing me, I guess, some rearrangement of the furniture in your living room area, that you're thinking about replacing some wooden end tables or coffee tables. I'm not sure why I'm getting that for you, but I'm going to pass it on to you tonight, Linda. And I want to thank you for joining us today. So many blessings to you, and thanks. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, I'm going to do another message. Okay. And I am with Paula Churchill. Paula Churchill. And you said you wanted a message, so I'm going to come right into your energy, Paula. As I'm tuning in with you tonight, my dear, I'm getting an image of a horse. I have no idea if you like horses or if you horseback ride. I have no idea. But I think this is more of an archetypal energy of representing freedom. We use a horse as a magnificent creature, where we got our original depiction of the horsepower within vehicles, right? You are like a horse now because you want to travel, and the restlessness and the opening to do so is greater than ever. I'm literally seeing a lot more opportunities for you to learn, grow, and travel. And it's like, we use the word horse. We want to get off our high horse, right? And I'm not saying you're on a high horse. I'm not saying that, Paul. But you're wanting to get the horse out of the gate. You're ready to have a little bit more freedom, and you're already making some plans to do so. So I'm seeing the late fall, early winter is an opportunity for you to do some exploration. Number one. Number two, sometimes I get names, sometimes I don't, but I have a name for you tonight. The name is Carl, gentleman in spirit. And he's saying something about, and I don't think he was a very close relative. He may have been a neighbor, even from childhood. But Carl was very, very a good craftsman. He was very good with working with tools, working with his hands. And he's saying that you don't have to fix everyone else's issues, even though you can. He means that both in the real world, mechanical world, and also in the emotional world. He's saying that it's okay for you to step back from a situation that you've been trying to fix, an emotional situation with a loved one. He's saying there's some things that can't be fixed. It has to come from that person itself. He says you're pretty handy, because he was with the real world, like fixing things. And he says, maybe you don't have to do it all the time. If you don't have to plunge a stuck kitchen sink, call the plumber. He says he gives you congratulations for being so handy and so reliable and very smart kinesthetically with the real world. and he applauds you, but he's also saying it's okay to call in for backup in both those instances, whether it be fixing things around the house or fixing this emotional concern with this loved one. I leave that with many, many blessings. Okay. All right. You don't know any Carl. Okay, Paula, that's okay. Sometimes the name might click in, but maybe the description might resonate with you more. The person from your childhood who was rough and ready with the tools and always fixing things. Okay, you go to a dude ranch every year. Okay, that's the horses. I did not know that. That's kind of fun. Wow. All right. Many, 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 many blessings to all of you. Thank you for being here. Hi, Venus. Didn't say hi to you. Hi, Anne. Cindy, just big hugs to you. Hi, Michelle. And I'm glad you're here. And how I pick folks to give messages to is totally random. I just use my thumb along the messenger point on my screen. But thank you, friends. Have a great week. And remember to reform, recalibrate something in your life that involves healing and letting go of some toxicity. And it'll be easier to draw up those boundaries and recalibrate on Monday the 13th. So see you next Wednesday night, I hope. Bye now. God bless.